Hey folks, Happy New Year. We're back in Railroader. It's the 2nd of January 2025. It's going to take a while to get used to saying 25 and not 24 naturally, but we are back. There's been a lot of stuff come out for Railroader as of late, not only on the modding front, but on the base game front as well. And we'll be dabbling into both of those subjects a tiny bit here today with this video, but mainly we're going to be looking at three new switchers that you can use. Super easy to use, by the way. The three new switchers are mods, but everything is installed via Unity Mod Manager. I think there's Asset Loader, Mod Manager. One of the two. I probably got it mixed up, but it's super easy. Basically, drag and drop a zipped file in the thing. It installs. You're done. It updates, all that. Super duper easy. But anyway, and the other part is the update that happened to the base game, of which there was a massive update for timetabling. Now, the developer that made the game wanted to add timetabling, a feature, into Railroader, and has done so. I myself am not super into that at the moment, so we're not really going to be looking into that today per se. But there was a kind of another update to the game, base game, that kind of slid under the whole timetable deal, which is scenery. Let's take a look at the trio of engines. Firstly, this, of course, is the 060 S1 Hundo USATC locomotive, US spec, and not the shipped overseas spec. But anyway, I've not been playing a whole hell of a lot of Railroader, as I'm sure a lot of you anyway, with the recent holidays, traveling, things like that. I'm finally back home, finally getting into the swing of things, hopefully back into different games, seeing different updates, and all kinds of other stuff. And here we are. I'm kind of getting a fire rekindled for Railroader. I feel like I just played way too much, and I know there's tons of you out there that have played probably 5 times what I have and more. But I got kind of burnt out. It all happens to us with just about everything, except for pizza and ice cream and certain things like that, naturally. But anyway, we're not here about that. So yeah, I'm back. I'm wanting to get into another kind of season. I'm thinking of starting fresh, maybe getting rid of the entirety of the railroad that I currently have. Got so many engines. Every interchange is just pumping daily, and it just got too much to handle, too much to deal with. And it was almost like a real job, which I've already got one of. So I think I'm going to keep it to just one real job and maybe playing this game and having fun on the side. Little side piece, side bay, Railroader. But anyway, enough babbling. Hopefully going to get a new fresh start, new map going, new railroad, all that good stuff. But we're still here on the Nantahala and Tuckasegee in Ayla. And we'll look at these, then we'll look at the updates that was done to the scenery and a few other things as well that also kind of slid under the radar. I will link down below the description where you can go and watch the video if you'd like about the timetable bit. I'm not really going to focus on that at all, like 0%, just because it doesn't interest me. And, you know, we all have different interests. That's not one of mine personally at this time. That may change, though. Who knows? So this is the USATC S100 US spec by Marquette Creations, is the modder or author. This thing's tractive effort has 24,298 pounds, 46-inch drivers, of course. I think the European spec and North African, wherever they shipped them, was much larger. I want to say like 60, thereabouts. But anyway, yeah, it's got the smaller drivers. It holds 1.2 tons of coal and 1,200 gallons of water. So it is indeed a switcher. It is a nice looking switcher. It's a cool tank style switcher. And it's always nice to have options in the game. I will say, you know, after being spoiled with so many mods as of late, the exterior on this thing, I feel like could look a bit better. It's just way too clean, like it hasn't been kind of weathered in or textured. Could use like a good scrub down or however that works in the 3D graphical department. I have no clue what I'm talking about, but it just, when you look at some of the other stuff, it's way too clean and way too flat. But it's a cool damn looking locomotive. The model, the shape, visually as a whole, it looks really, really nice. I like seeing the red valve handles up there as well. Everything works as it should with a lot of railroader stuff. I've been using it a little bit this afternoon, but it's a good looking engine. Just in the shading and weathering department, it just looks a bit flat, or it's almost got like a plasticky look to it. We've got another valve over here on this side as well. And let's get up high and take a look. Smoke box part looks good. That kind of dull gray. It's got some weathering and texturing in there. Stack looks good. All the domes look appropriate. Connecting rods. Yeah, it all looks pretty nice everywhere else. It's shiny where it needs to be and not shiny where it doesn't need to be. I feel like the axles themselves, the wheels look pretty damn good. The drivers. It's a nice looking model overall. I do like it. The lights should work as per usual. There they go. I don't think there's any markers on this sucker. But let's see if there's anything we can kind of click on the front here. I don't think there is. There's your water hatch on the side. That's pretty cool, though. That's a neat thing. You're going to have to watch where the hell you go when you're filling this thing back up, naturally. I have one on the other side as well. Bell works. There you go. And the whistle. I probably have a complete random whistle. I've still got a problem with my whistle mod. I need to somehow get the vanilla files and start over. Yeah, that's like the default whistle there. And then here's your coal in the back. Very, very tiny amounts. So you definitely want to keep her in the yard. Let's get in this thing and run it down the road a little bit. I got to spot a boxcar just in front of us down there. Our windows open and close naturally. I believe those open as well. Your little sliders. And there should be a vent. Damn show is. Very nice. I believe you can open the back as well. And it should all be modeled exteriorly as well. So it's not just an interior thing. Yeah, it definitely do. Good deal. Got our handbrake right there. No sound, sadly. A lot of this stuff anyway, I would consider almost like a beta. Nobody ever really releases a mod fully complete. It's always being updated, so to speak, and that's kind of the case here. I mean, if this thing had a tiny bit of texturing on it, though, it'd be extremely spicy. The handles in here do look pretty good, though. I like the handles, the brake stand, firebox, the sight glass. That looks pretty nice as well. I like these handles, though. These handles look nice. Very, very nice. We got our headlight controls up here, which I'm trying to click. Yeah, they do move. Okay, here's your whistle. So that's animated on the interior, which is cool. Your lamps as well. Like I said, let's get in this thing and push her forward a little bit. 40%. Can I grab the brake? Okay, there we go. Give her a little bit. There we go. She's stout, she's got a good bit of power. This era, late 30s, early 40s. Not too shabby. It works as intended, though, like most steam locos within the game. The animations look pretty nice. You can see the glow of the fire back there. Throw a little independent down. Yeah, this thing looks good. I love the way this thing looks. All right, so if you go into where you buy your locomotives, let's click on locomotives. Gosh, what is this one called? They're all named differently. I want to say it's the S26T. So this cat right here, 40 ton. Yes, that's it. That is the one. Oh, and this thing, I almost totally glossed over. So this thing is pretty cool because you can add the striping. You wouldn't really primarily have seen that here stateside, but you can kind of make it your own, which is always very cool. So your base color is set to that, but you can actually change that around, and it'll change your trim so you can have it look like the German locomotive. Yeah, it's a bad example of trying to sound German, but you know, red striping, you could do white striping, like a parade style or something like that. It's just neat, something extra that you can mess around with. Let's go back into the menu. There it is. Okay, I'm in sandbox because I placed these down. Hold on a second. Let me go. We want to look at the specs of this thing. So mode compagnie. There we go. All right. What is it? S26T? Here it is. I've already forgotten. There it is. There's even a little picture in there as well, so that's cool. When they added those little slides like that. So 26,400 pound tractive effort. Very small curve radius, naturally. Weight empty, 81,000 pounds. 1.3 tons of coal. 1,200 gallons of water. And it costs 6,000. So it's, you know, that's a pretty respectable price. You know, if you're just starting out your railroad, to say. So that's not too shabby at all. That is the S26T by Marquette Creations, or the USATC S1 Hundo US spec. Let's go and look at the next one. All right, next up is this little tyke, the CNJ 040T. And, you know, until you see the drivers, it doesn't look that small. It, you know, the cab certainly wasn't small. The cab in this thing is larger than the USATC engine we were just looking at. But the 040T, I think they called it an A1, and it was a one-off locomotive IRL. This was done by author modder McCrusher, or Me Crusher. But it was a solitary 040T built by Baldwin 1907. Used at the Bronx terminal exclusively, from what I gather, until about 1925, and then moved on to Jersey City because they banned steam and smoke and all that back then. They're get it out of New York. It's too dirty, blah, blah. Got it to Jersey City. It worked a terminal there pretty much the rest of its life until it was scrapped in 1954. But again, a nice looking little locomotive. Just like the S100, I would say the same thing with the, you know, the weathering overall is just being a bit too flat. But again, you know, a lot of this stuff is not completely done. They, you know, a lot of these modders update this stuff sometimes several times a week. So it may change. Who knows? I also understand with these saddle tanks, they're a bit different because these are tanks, you know, they're not the steel, the riveted steel that's hammered out and shaped, you know what I mean? So the tanks themselves would look a bit different. So, you know, I kind of understand the way the flatness and the kind of super clean look to that, you know, would be present. That'd be pretty natural, but all the other stuff could definitely be touched up. The cab does look good on this one because it's got the rivets in there, the carriage bolts. But overall, smokebox looks good on this as well. Just another little cool locomotive. Good Lord, how did this thing not tip over backwards? Like, you would think the drivers would have had to have been further back. Obviously, your firebox is behind the axles there, but Jesus, it looks like it would tip over backwards. It's a chonker though. Let's go into this thing here. I think this one's called the S. Okay, is it not? I think S22T. It's got to be that. Oh, son of a biscuit. I am in company mode, and I just ordered that. Idiot. I just wasted so much money. Good Lord. Okay, we must cancel that. Going to have to sell it immediately. Big idiot moment. Yeah, so it's got to be the S22T. So that's the in-game designation. They've all got their own names. 22,000 pound tractive effort. So only too shy of the S100 we just looked at. Extra small curve radius, naturally. Weight empty is 168. The other one was like 80. So this thing, you could probably pull some stuff with this thing over red marble. One full car, I bet. I bet it could do it. 2 tons of coal, 1,400 gallons of water. Costs 92. So it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more modern, a little bit more chunk. Well, it's not modern in that sense, but you know, it would have been updated and upgraded over time. It could definitely handle a bit more of this thing. Let's go in the cab and have a look-a-roo. Huge ass firebox. Will it open the door? No. We can get back here. Yeah, it's got your little pulpit here. It won't let you go back in there though. It's pretty neat. So you can look on both sides. Should be able to open the windows, front, side, back to back. You do have 2 hatches as well. Got your lamps naturally. Handles in here look pretty good as well, and all the piping. This one looks pretty nice. It's a welcome change as far as the innards. This one's got a floor as well. I don't think that's a default floor. I don't recall. I'll have to go back and look, but everything in here looks very nice as well. The bells and whistles, naturally, as they say. We'll run this thing forward a little bit just to watch her work. Look at the animation. Wipe the brakes off. Lights work as well. I don't believe there's any markers because this thing wouldn't have been on the road and really needed markers. Most likely. Here's your hatches on both sides. Pretty cool animation. So I wonder if you have to fill up both sides, because I don't think you can stretch it across in the game. So you'd have to turn this sucker around. It's got to fill both. Very interesting cab shape as well. Kind of looks like the Iron Man mask. If you look at it like that without the top. Animation looks good on this thing. It's obviously not meant to go fast. Very tiny drivers. But I bet you this thing could get stanky pulling something with as small as it is. But again, nice little engine. CNJ040T by Meat Crusher. And I reckon let's go look at that box cab. Here we are looking at the box cab. Yes, do not adjust your ears. That is an EMD prime mover that you hear currently. This, of course, is the 60-ton box cab by modder or author Hey It's Aspen. So basically, Alco, General Electric, and Ingersoll Rand came together and made this thing. The great-great-great-great-grandfather of diesel electrics within the United States. They called it an oil electric box cab. We'll get to that in a minute. But the initial entry into this market, into where we are today. Tractive effort sat at 36,000 pounds. Had 166-gallon fuel tank. What else? The diesel power unit, I think it works like your modern engines. Drives a generator, which in turn drives your traction motors. This one had 1 per axle. You know, like pretty much anything today. But the 60T, or the 60-ton model, this was one of 3. They made 2 more models after this. I think they made 20 of these, but it had a 6-cylinder 4-stroke pushing about 300 horsepower. And I know it wouldn't sound like an EMD. And I also know it'd probably be very difficult to get sound for this thing. I would imagine it just sounds like an old diesel 4-stroke. You know, something kind of clattery, rattly. You know, maybe we'll get that at some point. As of right now, this is the sound set you get with the thing. The model, though, is very, very cool. And that's kind of why I decided to take a look at it. Not to say that there aren't any cool mods out there for Railroader. There are a ton. Like I said, the floodgates have opened. I just come along and I see something and I'm like, ooh, shiny, you know, and here we are. So there's so much stuff out there if this one doesn't scratch your itch, per se. But, yes, 20 of these were produced. I think there's 5 surviving units to this day. One, of course, at the B&O Railroad Museum, National Museum of Transportation, the North Alabama Railroad Museum, and the IRM in Illinois. And I believe there's one at the Henry Ford Museum as well. So the reason they referred to these as oil electric is this took place post World War I. And the whole war, and the German word diesel kind of left a bad taste in their mouth, and they thought, oh, we gotta name it something else. You know, diesel sounds too German. you know, it was the times. Things were weird. Naturally, it's a massive war. So they just called it an oil electric instead of diesel electric, like we have now. Anywho, I'll link all three of these down below, as usual. The other big kind of kerfuffle about this thing, aside from the sounds, is there is currently no interior. So I'm going to hit Control 0, which takes you in the cab normally. And it just plants you right down on the side. Now, that being said, how many of us actually play Railroader in the cab? Now, I'm not saying not ever. I do on occasion, most certainly. But most of the time, I'm out here hustling 50 trains at once. Ain't nobody got time to be in the cab trying to do something like that. So, it is what it is currently. Now, you can go in the cab ends. There's just really nothing modeled in here right now. It's just, you know, kind of hang out, get out of the rain, whatever. But the model itself looks cool. Box cabs are cool. Diesel, electric, and electric. All the same. Box cabs are just one of those really, really neat things. You know, it's the same kind of reason why I like switchers in general, especially, you know, modern switchers. They just, I don't know, they sing to me. Lights work as per usual with most stuff. Got your horn. Bell. Look at the top. I believe you can actually climb the ladder on the side, kind of like a rail car. Can indeed. There's your stack. Looks, you know, very faithfully modeled. Again, probably could be textured up a little bit overall. It's just, you know, you can see a little kind of orange peel going on there, which looks nice. But, you know, overall looks pretty good. I don't know what kind. This thing had one of those. I think they would have had possibly a Hancock air whistle or something to that effect. I don't know if it was, you know, E2 era yet, possibly. But I'm thinking like that old school kind of weird New Haven sound. Anyway, that's what I think of with this thing. Another thing is the axles themselves. They just kind of have that Russian steel, that kind of weird blue color. If they were, you know, just toned down a little bit to look like the rail cars. I know the developer of the game, the base game, you know, touched those up over time, and they look really, really good now. So this one does look, it just kind of stands out. It's just a strange blue, but you can actually see the traction motors back in there too, which is neat. Try and get down a little bit here. So yeah, just a neat little thing to see, you know, working around a yard naturally, maybe have it at your coal mine or down to the Larka or something like that. It's just a neat little engine. Let's open this thing here. It's down with the Diesels, the RRer, or Alco GE, Ingersoll Rand. 36,000 pound tractive effort, small radius naturally, 118,000 pound empty, 166 gallon diesel fuel, and it's only 8,000. So this thing, if you're starting out and you're not crazy about steam, even though this game is primarily about steam naturally, I maybe go with this thing because it just takes fuel. You got to get a fuel stand. This thing will run forever. You don't have to keep stopping to put oil and coal in it, etc., etc. But the 60-ton box cab, I hate its Aspen. The third of the three new switchers that you can go and pick up. New, you know, they're not new, but new in the last several weeks, I believe. But so that's that. Let's go ahead and start taking a look at the map and what was added with the last default game patch update. We'll start on the east side of the map, down the metropolis of Silva within the Railroader universe. Anyway, the first thing you'll notice down here, I'll probably not see everything, just, you know, for official clarity. I'll probably miss some stuff, but this is just some stuff that I noticed because the info is kind of vague on the patch notes as to what all was added. So you naturally got to go around and hunt. So one of the first things headed westbound you'll notice is the bridges. So some new bridges were added. They need to get the weed control out here and get spraying or weed whacking on that though. But they look good. I love the way they look. They've got that late, you know, 40s, kind of 50s look to how bridges appeared back then. They just have a certain look. A lot of old towns to this very day. We have a lot of old aging infrastructure here in the US naturally. And a lot of the stuff still looks like that. So that's really, really nice. They added these all over the map. I don't believe there's anything down here at the depot that I noticed. But there is another bridge right down here that's actually an overpass that you go under, which looks really nice as well. So you can actually see the road going up and over the tracks, which that right there is, that just looks nice. You got the river over there, the road, the railroad. So you got a bridge up there, and it's even black. So it's sooted from diesel exhaust or steam engine exhaust underneath that. So that's pretty cool as well. Just a neat little touch. We're down at Dillsboro with my my old bay right here. I love this thing. Probably got the most hours in this thing out of anything in Railroader. Anywho, down here in Dillsboro, so this was added recently. It didn't always look like this. It changed last year, like early last year, I think. But they did add this. I think this was new in the very recent patch as well, I think. Look at the shingles on that sucker, man. Almost looks real. Got them asphalt shingles. I believe that's it. We do have another bridge. There was always a bridge down here, but again, this is the new bridge, and it's got the soot on it from the engines going underneath, which is a pretty badass little touch. It's little stuff like that that, you know, I, for one, at least very much appreciate the little attention to detail. Such as that. Down at Dillsbury Yard, I don't think anything has changed down here, and nothing else that away. Let's go further west. We're down in Wilmot, where you've got slate, mica, and schist over here on these little stubs to our left of screen. Again, added a bridge, new bridge. I know it's not Bridge Simulator. Ooh, ah, so what, bridge. But they're everywhere now. Thankfully, they've been upgraded, updated. They look good. This one, you'll note, does not have soot staining on it because steam engines don't go underneath there. So I was thinking, okay, are they just kind of copy pasting the whole thing? No, it's actually being added on a per basis, which is pretty damn cool. Wilmot still looks just about the same as far as I can tell, except for the fill in these cars. Yes, that is right. We've got new fill. So that is part of the update that came out with the big timetable update. You've got different types of fill. Now, it is a 2D fill, but it looks pretty damn good, and it's better than just nothing being in there, that's for sure. But it does look pretty good. It's not 3D, but it's kind of got that faux 3D look to it. No matter whatever kind of angle, unless you're looking at the far distant, you know, down at the end of the car there. But if you're looking like, you know, foreground, that looks pretty damn good. So that's nice. Very nice. That one looks a little bit different. Might just be the color of the car throwing me off. So we have new fills as well. Let's keep going east or west. Now we're down in Whittier, about to go around the bend to Ayla, and we've got some new stuff down here as well, namely this house, which is pretty cool. Is there anything in here? Any kind of little Easter egg-ish? No, there's not, but it is a nice looking model. You know, it's just nice to see this map fleshed out. You know, because it's amazing if you stop and think the reception this game got from myself and countless others, and it didn't really have much scenery. That just shows you the core is there, you know. That is good, obviously. So hopefully they're polishing this thing up. Another little office or shack was added over here as well, which is cool. You can see the bridge down here, which was added and updated too. So Whittier is getting spiced up. Now we're down in A-Line. Hot damn. This it's a toss-up between here and Bryson. It's my probably favorite new areas or what was done to the map with the update. This looks good. So obviously you got the freight house to the right there, and to the left is all new, complete with silos because it's farm supply. They'd obviously bring stuff in to ship out, or you know, get stuff in by rail car to take to their farms or homesteads or whatnot. And these buildings look very good. They look age appropriate. Just cleanly placed. This just fits. I mean, you could just that shot right there. You got the rolling doors on the side. It's just a nice looking building. I can't wait to see what else. Because I forgot to mention, somebody has kind of gotten on board with the guy that made the game as far as modeling buildings. So we might be seeing some stuff sooner rather than later, hopefully. And if it looks anything like this, me much excite. I can guarantee you that. See if there's anything inside. It looks like it actually is kind of two buildings. If there's any Easter eggs or anything in here. But that is very cool. I like the way that looks down here at Ayla. Next stop, Bryson. Oh, we're at Bryson, and just being here has reminded me that I've neglected my duties on this railroad for a very long time. I got a lot of work to do in Bryson and the whole damn map. So I don't think much was added to the east side of Bryson, but the further this way you get, is you'll start noticing some stuff back here by the depot. So you got like a little crew house or crew quarter right there, which is pretty cool. Fills out the scenery very nicely there with the roundhouse or the quarter house. Here's a little extra stubs right here, and then back here you've got some more. So you've got another little house right there, crew base, another little shack or shed, some more outbuildings back here, one there and one there as well. And that's kind of the main notable differences I've seen in a lot of the scenery that's been added so far. I didn't look everywhere, to be fair. There might be plenty of other stuff. I don't think anything was added to Andrews. I would love to see that actual wood pile be filled out and not just be this weird kind of flat texture. But overall, we got a house back here too. That's new. That is new. Very cool. Man, we need to see like 10 of these back here. That would be very sweet. But yeah, that's Bryson, or now Bryson City, IRL. But that is the update. And I'll link down below the actual video to the timetable bit if you'd like to see more about that. It, of course, will include everything else that was added. But that's it from me for now. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.